Hello, my friends, and welcome to this evening's Juve therapy session. It's Friday. It's finally Friday. And let me just ask you a very, very interesting question for tonight. Dusan Vlahovic. Yes or no? Because this is really the topic of tonight. So there we go. The poll is out, my friends. Please have your say. Would you take him? Or would you not? And of course, if you say no, then please explain why. And if you say yes, also please elaborate on your answer. So, my friends, welcome to this stream. I hope you're doing well. Happy Friday. And of course, I hope you have a nice weekend. No Juve this weekend, of course, unless you're planning to somehow tune into the Juve against Crapoli women, which is tomorrow at 14:30 Italian time, so 2:30 during the day. Or, of course, Juve are playing their friendly against Alessandria, if I'm not mistaken, tomorrow, behind closed doors, so there will be not possible to watch this one live. I don't think they will stream that one either, so they'll be behind closed doors, just, I think, to assess the fitness of Arthur and, of course, Caio Jorge. So that was the most important thing. And, of course, well, training sessions for all those who are not involved in international duties. And there are quite a lot of those guys, by the way. So, yeah, it will be interesting to see how Arthur and Caio Jorge fitness levels are. If they are good enough, they will be seeing. Probably we will be seeing those guys against Roma at some point during the game. Would be interesting to see if that happens. But if not, we'll have to wait a couple of weeks more before we see them in action. But of course, Caio Jorge already featured like 5 minutes or so in the last game against Torino. So yeah, it was lovely. And of course, we need more. We need much more because he's a young guy and something fresh. Always nice to see something fresh. It smells fresh. So yes, my friends, welcome to the stream once again. And let me say hi to Crab, Rishi, Mohammed, Steve. Steve is in the chat, even though he has some business to take care of. But welcome, Steve. Nice to see you, my friend. And of course, Ali as well. So Vlahovic over Ken. He says, and Mohammed says, if we can get Holland, I'd go for Holland. And if we can't get Holland, well, then we get Vlahovic. We get Vlahovic for 20 million. Cervini Masterclass done deal. The end. Fiorentina in the mud, says Rishi. Okay, great. So there are, before we go into this Dusan Vlahovic discussion, whether he would be a good fit or not, whether he's at all realistic or not, we need also to look at the other things that happened this week. Most notably was the fact that Italy finally lost a football match. Finally. They lost 2-1 against Spain on Wednesday, I think. Yeah, and I couldn't care less because we got the Euros, guys. The Euros. I don't care, and to be honest, Bastoni was playing in the middle of the defense with Bonucci getting a red card. So yeah, it kind of was a bit more not so crazy result after all. But it is what it is. Italy lost, unfortunately. But we talk Juve on this channel, and Juve it is, because Federico Chiesa apparently had another masterclass. It becomes very, very usual things to say after the game, because well, he's just a monster, and I don't know that, Steve. I'm not so sure. Probably they never lost at San Siro. Yeah, that could be true. A good point. Yes, a good point. Maybe someone in the chat can answer that question from Steve. Yeah. Well, that's it. We have to move on. But the thing is with this international break is that Aaron Ramsey has come out flying with comments, with talking BS about Juve. And let's get one thing straight. I don't think actually that is BS. I think actually has some point to the fact that how if we look if we look out of the way, if we look objectively on this thing, I know it's kind of strange that Aaron Ramsey isn't playing a single minute for Juve, but he gets to play for Wales. He is with them. He's working out with them. He's during these training sessions and all that stuff. So he is basically fit enough for Wales, but not fit enough for Juve. This is the reality. Now, why has this happened? Perhaps, and he says so himself, it's because the Juve just don't know how to treat Aaron Ramsey. Okay, fine. But we knew that already. He's already told that during the summer. I remember his comments during the summer that he said that Juve don't know how to get me fit enough for playing matches. This is why I'm struggling to get playing time. But in Wales, I have a great time. I play every game. So why shouldn't I be playing the same for Juve? Well, if you're not happy at the club, go. There were offers. I think there were rumors that Everton wanted the guy. I think there were rumors that Arsenal were considering him, at least Tottenham. So he had offers, but he stayed. And the will of a player now is that he's just unhappy because he wants to go, because he doesn't play. Well, go. Nobody is holding you back. The only thing that kind of I feel very strange is that, remember when Allegri started talking about Aaron Ramsey during the preseason, during the last games of the preseason, he said that, Aaron Ramsey, I have so much faith in him as a deep lying playmaker. He will be a nice regista for us. He's a very important player. And he hasn't played since. Now, is that Ramsey talking BS because he is just not fit enough, isn't good enough? Allegri doesn't make him a priority to build a team around Aaron Ramsey? I don't know. But he feels that he is so important to this side. Well, he needs to work. I mean, it's just not up to J Medical to get him fixed. He needs to stay fit as well. So maybe there is some things he does on his own that just destroys everything for him. And of course, language barrier, getting consistent playing time also needs some. It is a very important, those are two are very important factors. So if he doesn't play and he doesn't socialize with other guys, well, of course he will be unhappy. But blaming the club fully for his lack of playing time is rather silly. So instead of going out and say, I'm disappointed that I am not playing, but I'm doing my best, fine. Just do your best, and that's fine. That's all we ask of you to do. Just do your best, and if that best is not good enough, fine. It's not your fault that you were brought to Juve. It's again the management's fault that we brought this injury-prone player on an 8 million deal a season. It's not his problem. It's our problem as a club, and it's our problem as fans because we are so pissed off about this guy. But at the end of the day, if he thinks about himself, it's not his problem. He's happy with earning those euros. What he's not happy with, of course, playing time. But playing time he can get elsewhere. And I guess that he could be paid the same amount of money in the Premier League as well. So I say, go. Nobody's holding you back. Leave. In January, I wouldn't be surprised if Aaron Ramsey would end up leaving, by the way. I don't know why I have this on, by the way. Sorry. This is just my slight rant about Aaron Ramsey because I just don't get it. I don't understand. And yes, as Steve rightly so says in the chat, Ramsey was always injured at Arsenal too. This is why they didn't renew his contract. This is why they let him go. And this is also why there are very, very few options for him out there when we signed him. He is a very, very, very smart player. One of the smartest players I've seen wear a Juve jersey, and that's saying something. Unfortunately, I see it very random. I see it almost never because he never plays, because he never is fit. So I say when he goes to when the transfer window opens in January, if there are offers out there, go. If there's a loan deal, go. If this is a playing time you're worrying about, go. Nobody is forcing you to stay. But at the end of the day, he will say, since there are no offers coming in, I will stay and fight for my place at the team. Fine. You will stay if that's what you will, and if there are no offers, okay, he will stay as per contract. But then we expect you to shut up and play. At least try to earn a spot. And if you're getting injured again, fine. But shut up and don't talk bad about the club. It's our fault that you are injured constantly. It's not a good look. It will never be a good look talking crap about your own employer. No matter how wrong or right you are. It just isn't a good look. Maybe he has a point. Yes, maybe they are clueless at J Medical, right? Maybe they are, yes. But that doesn't help him, does it? He still is at the club as per contract. He still is a Juve player. So why talk crap about your own employer now? You will definitely not get more playing time by talking crap now in October. You can forget about November, December. They'll find some freaking Primavera player instead of you to play those games in Coppa Italia because you don't respect the club. And I'm all for being transparent and saying things how the way they are, but you need to understand if you do this will happen. The consequences of those actions. So Aaron Ramsey, my friend, I'm very, very disappointed. I was a fan of his because of his off the balls runs. He's a smart, intelligent player. But after these comments in the summer and now again, I feel, you know what? Just go. Just go. If you feel that there will be someone else out there, some miracle cure waiting for you in Welsh mountains. I don't know if there are mountains in Wales, but please go. Find that freaking cure and just stay there. Just go and play for Cork City or whatever. If you're that interested in playing and finding that cure and playing and how to play consistently, mamma mia, then Juve is not for you. The pressure probably is not for you there at all. So there we go. Aaron Ramsey, my friends. Borginho, hi, and Crab as well. Nice to see you, my friends. How are you guys doing? Aaron Ramsey. That was my rant about Aaron Ramsey for 15 minutes. And you know what else pisses me off is that the fact that he wears number 8 jersey. It's like, come on. We gave you number 8 jersey. This is Marquisio's jersey. Respect. Anyway, what happens. And it's a real shame. It's a real shame that we waste 8 million a season on this J Medical employee. Yeah, we could have got 2 decent players for 4 million each. But anyway, guys, do you think we'll get Vlahovic? Don't say if this or that happens. Do you think we'll get him? Says Mohammed. Honestly, I'll get back to that. I'll get back to that, Mohammed, because it's I'll need to explain my choice. I'll get back to that. But let's start with Dusan Vlahovic. First of all, if you looked at the thumbnail of the pitch, talk too much, says Death Clutch. Yes, Ramsey has potential, but Italian coaches can't find a place for him. I don't think it's about Italian coaches. It's more about that he basically never is fit. And yeah, it's he is an interesting player to play when he's fit, because off the ball runs, he's always moving. He's a technical guy. He likes to play ball. He likes to have the ball to his feet, but also makes those off the ball runs that are quite intriguing to watch. But the language barrier, again, maybe he doesn't quite understand what to do on the pitch because of the Italian language. And first and foremost, you need to play consistently. That's all I'm gonna say. But Dusan Vlahovic, guys, I think this is one of those guys who just appeared out of nowhere. And if you looked at my thumbnail, I made it this morning. I was actually quite happy about it. So please smash a like on the video. And don't forget to answer to the quiz in the chat. Do you want Vlahovic, yes or no? Because I did that quiz earlier this week on this channel, and it was actually 50-50. People could not decide. So this is why I was thinking about actually doing a live stream regarding Dusan Vlahovic and try to kind of explain his weaknesses, strengths, and would he be a good fit or bad fit for Juve, and would it actually be a realistic choice for us? So if you see at my thumbnail, 1 million, 1 million was the price, was the fee that Fiorentina paid for Vlahovic from Partizan, I believe, in 2019. And he couldn't play the first season, so he only played like 2020-2021 season, so meaning last season for Fiorentina consistently. Wow, 1 million for this clutch of a player, for this nonsense of a player, for this monster. 1 million. And they did this before and before and before. They are excellent at finding that talent and just, nurturing them. But Vlahovic will be one of those biggest ones in the recent years. Even, I'd say, even better than Federico Chiesa was at Fiorentina at that time. So Fiorentina had gems like Federico Chiesa, and he just got so much better at Juve in record amount of time. Insane. And Vlahovic is already great, and this is why the price tag is so crazy from Commisso, from Fiorentina management. Whether we agree with that price tag or not, of course, you can also comment that in the chat. But for me, from that rise from 1 million up to 40 million, which is the market value for him today, if we are to believe the Transfermarkt website, and the initial transfer price tag from Fiorentina management is 77 million for Vlahovic. Now, why 77? Why not? Well, whatever the price tag is, he basically invites a bidding war. So Dusan Vlahovic will not renew his contract with Fiorentina. His contract expires in 2023. So they want to sell him summer 2022. I get that. I get why. I get why they will sell him. I get that he wants to sell him in the summer and not in January. Of course, if an offer comes in January with crazy money, which it will not happen, he will sell, of course. But this is a very, 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 very ideal situation for Fiorentina, that they will get extreme amount of money in January. They can rebuild, already thinking for summer, but in the summer 2022, there will be more money to spend from other big clubs, I reckon. So Liverpool, Tottenham, Atletico Madrid, Manchester City, Juve. I haven't seen any other Italian clubs. So those four, so Liverpool, City, say Tottenham 3, Atletico Madrid 4, and probably some other great clubs as well. So, and Juve 5. So 5 clubs are looking at Vlahovic and seeing him as a potential new signing for the next summer. Now, already there are 5 clubs will fight for his signature with the price tag of 77 million. Let's say 80, just for sakes, just for the sake of it. So 80 million. Who can afford 80 million? Will not be Merda. They have no money. Probably will not be Milan. I see the comments from Del Clutch. I don't think neither of those two have the capacity to buy him. I think AC Milan are focused on Andrea Bellotti, by the way, which is, by the way, well, dangerous, because I think Bellotti is a class player and will be perfect for Milan. But anyway, Vlahovic will either go to Juve in Italy or play abroad. These are his options. Ciao, Anish. Welcome to the stream. And by the way, before I go any further, Anish, thank you so much. Anish, and also Crab, and also Steve. Thank you so much, guys, for being moderators on this channel. And thank you so much for following the chat and chatting with the other guys while I'll just rant into the camera. So I appreciate all of you guys and keep up the great work. So, yeah, thank you. And Vlahovic will either, as I said, stay at in Serie A or go abroad to either Premier League or La Liga, or maybe Bundesliga, Bayern Munich, maybe. But, and there is a big but, if you saw the last clip of Dusan Vlahovic talking or being interviewed by Italian television after the game against Atalanta, and there were racial abuse towards Dusan about his heritage, about his Serbian heritage. And I just saw him in the eye, and I was thinking, you know what? Does he really want to stay in Italy and get that abuse? Does he really feel comfortable? Now, if he leaves, now, there are the two choices here, and this is more politics than football, but there are two choices here. Either you leave just because you don't want to be anywhere near the problem, or you actually stay and be the light, be the beacon for the good, be the change in that mentality of Italian football, of Italy in general. Like Moise Kean is also a part of it. Matuidi also left partially because he was racially abused in Italy. Eni Aluko, who was she was playing for Juventus women 2-3 seasons ago. She left because of that racial abuse or racial comments towards her, because she is, well, she has a different color on the skin, let's so speak. That was very politically said, wasn't it? I was very impressed with myself. But this is a big factor we have to look at, because this is one thing. He's not even black, you know. He is a white guy, but he is from Serbia, and they call him gypsy or whatever. So this is not about white or black or whatever color in your skin. This is actually about your heritage. This is about your history as a person, where you come from. But when they slur, when they just offend the guy like that, I gotta go 2 step backs and think, you know what? Do I really want to stay in Italy to deserve that kind of hate? I didn't do much. I play ball. I love football. I scored 21 goals in 37 games last season. And they just puke all over me with that racism. Really, do I want to stay in that stupid country where I get slammed? And I can go to England. Probably there will be some racial abuse there as well, but not at that level, perhaps. I will get more money. I will play consistently. There will be bigger crowds. I mean, Premier League and so on. Premier League. Premier League always sells for some reason. So this is the only thing that I can see that would be a negative for Vlahovic to stay in Italy. And of course, the competitiveness on the whole, on the very, very top level, the Champions League level. Yes, if he goes to Juve, he might actually win Scudetto with Juve. But will he win the Champions League? If he goes to City, he might just win the Champions League. If he goes to Liverpool, he might just win the Champions League or Europa League. If he goes to Bayern Munich, Atletico, the project around that club, what can they offer him that we cannot offer? We as a club, I'm talking about Juventus, of course. So this is the thing that we need to look at before we even look at him as a player. What would he want to do when an offer arrives, a contract offer? Because the bid to the club is one thing, from Juve to Fiorentina, that's one thing, but the contract between the new club and the player, that is also very vital, and which club that would be. So yeah, This is a nice start to the discussion we'll be having about Vlahovic. Boshinio says, we have no choice than believe in Vlahovic. Tell me good number 9 choice. Morata, please. Who then? Benzema. Jesus doubts about Haaland and or Mbappe. There is no good number 9 currently on the market. Yeah, that is a good point. But yeah, again, good quality players cost a lot of money. Newcastle now Oilcastle. Yes, and Newcastle will also be jumping in on that ship probably as well now, since they have money, and suddenly Premier League are a very, very nice place to come to once again. And the Super League nonsense, that's just BS. But still, oil people, oil sheikhs buying yet another club, and that just doesn't bother people, especially Newcastle fans. Newcastle fans don't care. They're just very, very happy that they have now money to buy anyone they want for the next season. Talk about being hypocrite. But anyway, Death Clutch, do you believe in Morata and Ken? As a prima punto striker, I believe in Morata more than I believe in Ken. But I don't believe in Morata as much as I believe in Vlahovic, so to speak. So, yeah, and if we are spending 35 million or 40 million or whatever on Morata next summer, why? Why don't wait for saving up money? It very depends on how far we'll go into Champions League, how much money we'll get from that, how much money we'll get from the gate attendances during the Serie A games, Champions League games, so on and so on. And if we win Scudetto this season, it all depends on the financial situation at the club come May, June 2022. So, yeah, that's it. And this is why it is so vital for us to find a proper striker next season, because I just don't believe in Morata playing consistently well for us and guaranteeing 25 goals a season. But I've been wrong before. So yes, let's go into the chat before we'll start analyzing Vlahovic as a player, his strengths and his weaknesses, and we'll see how we end up and where would we like him to, well, whether we would fit, he would be a good fit or bad fit. Premier League is a Super League, more or less, or you get, if you get promoted from a Championship to Premier League, you get 100 million. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I think if we don't get, that was from Max, by the way. Hi, Max, in the chat. It's a long time, Max. I love it that you're back in the stream. Or maybe you was there before as well. Yeah, I'm sorry. I think if we don't get Vlahovic, we should go for Werner or Isak. Isak sounds like a very interesting. Nice, Steve. Nice. Isak sounds like a very interesting name. I don't think Aditsa is there in the chat just yet. She can talk hours about Isak probably. Werner, not too sure about. Mohammed, ciao, my friend. Ciao, Mohammed. And would you prefer to buy Immobile or Belotti than Vlahovic? I not fancy Immobile too much, to be quite honest, Boshinio. Even though, yes, he scores goals for Lazio, I think he is a very, a particular player who only applies to certain setups, so to speak. You need to build a team around Immobile, basically. This is why I don't feel that he succeeds for Italy. He was crap for Dortmund. He was great for Torino. But I just think this is his level. Lazio is his level, and but that's me. That's me. I just don't see him. Being fit for Juve, and no reason. They would be cost a huge amount of money if he would ever leave. And of course, Juve are his old club, and I just don't see it coming. I just don't see him coming back to us. Belotti, yes, looks like more of our type of striker, the one what we need. But I think Milan are very, very ready for him. And of course, if we are pairing up Belotti against Vlahovic, well, Vlahovic is a better choice, isn't it? So yeah. If you're here for the very first time, guys, my name is Roman. Hi, pleasure to see you all. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel, please. Thank you so much for doing just that. Ruffle, my Junabeats friend from Sweden, says Haaland is going to a club that can pay an astronomical salary, while Vlahovic won't get. Yeah. I think we can forget about Erling Haaland, to be honest. Again, if we have money to buy Haaland, then we definitely have money to get Vlahovic and plus another player. We can have Immobile, but we need SMS, Luis Alberto, and Leva to supply him balls to score. Well, basically, we need half of Lazio then, Anish. Funny. Spend money for Morata. Yes, that is also a point. Why should we spend money on Morata if Vlahovic is available? But once again, I go back to that. Vlahovic, let's say 80 million is his price tag. If Juve can afford that, which I, personally doubt, he would be a great signing. But then again, if Commisso, the asshole, starts the bidding war between those 5 clubs that I mentioned, of course, this is exactly what he wants. And this is why he puts out the price tag right now in freaking October, because Vlahovic does not want to resign his contract. And his contract expires in 2023, as I said. So, yeah, I get why he does this, but this is a shop for him. He tries to deal with players. He tries to get as much money as possible, as soon as possible, which I understand completely if you are a businessman. But you're also playing with players' future and players' desire. If player wants to go to Juve and not Atletico Madrid, for example, but Atletico Madrid wants to pay more, this is where the conflict starts. So, yeah, this is it. And this is where it gets very, very interesting, whether we can afford Vlahovic or not. And we can talk about that. Actually, we can do it right now, because before we start actually looking at the player's strengths and weaknesses, what Juve want to do. Juve has been looking out for him even before he joined Fiorentina. Let's make that clear. They were scouting him at Partizan. Never really made a formal offer, I think. So he went to Fiorentina. Now he's banging in goals for them. And now, what we did with Fiorentina is, of course, loan Federico Chiesa from them, and then, of course, eventually we'll buy him for 40 million or 60 million or something, which is eventually crazy money, considering the fact that we're talking about Federico the GOAT Chiesa, who is, by the way, not nominated for the Ballon d'Or. I just do like this, and I just do like this. Can somebody please find me the list of the Ballon d'Or nominees? Because I think Raheem Sterling is in there. I think Riyad Mahrez is in there. And no Federico Chiesa. I'm glad that Chiellini and Bonucci are there, by the way. Yeah, it's crazy. Crazy. I don't take that serious anymore. This is a French moronic award anyway, in recent years at least. And it's all about the popularity contest. No Cristiano, no Chiesa. Well, yeah, there we go. Yeah, especially Chiesa. This is why I don't get no Szczesny. That's absolutely amazing, Borginho. That's actually crazy. But anyway, you said Vlahovic can be bought for around 80 million. Yeah, this is the price tag from Commisso. Yes, is Juve even able to spend that? No. Even if we come in final rounds of Champions League, we still have enough depth, says Max. Yes, this is a good point. I will still say that we are working on exactly that thing. Loan with obligation to buy. This is a creative strategy from Juve. But would Commisso buy that crap from us? He would, of course, rather get 80, 70 million up front from Atletico, from whoever. He doesn't care, probably. He wants money. And the loan with obligation to buy, yeah, of course. This is just not, no-brainer. Of course, you want to get money now. In the COVID market, you need to rebuild your side. And they have a great coach in Vincenzo Italiano. So whatever happens with Fiorentina will be fine. If they sell Vlahovic now or summer 2022, they will be fine. They will reinvest that money. They will get not necessarily better now, but they will eventually come out on the better side next season. I'm completely sure of that. As long as Italiano gets that money, gets that backing, gets that comfortable spot in the club to do whatever he wants. I think they will be. I think they will do good without Vlahovic. Question is, when do they say goodbye to Vlahovic? Now or next summer? So we'll see. But I'm coming back to whether we can afford him or not. Right now, no. Because it all depends on the Champions League. It all depends on, of course, on the player's will as well. Would Vlahovic want to go to Juve rather than going to, rather than going to Tottenham, Liverpool, City, or whatever? And this is where it gets tricky, because when the player wants to go to a club that will pay less than Man City, for example, then of course Commisso will not be happy, then he will be very angry, he will not agree to that stuff. But then again, player will be pushing, just like Locatelli. I see the comment from Max. Yes, exactly. Fabrizio Romano said a few days ago, great comment from Max, I love it. Sorry, there we go. Fabrizio Romano said a few days ago that our strategy has to be to make the player want to play for Juve, like we did with Locatelli. Locatelli was an easy one because he was a Juventino already. But with Vlahovic, I think Chiesa is a wild card because Chiesa played with Vlahovic before. Chiesa can sell Juve to Vlahovic, so to speak. The great atmosphere, the fino alla fine, the great club, the great history, and so on and so on and so on. But it's all about the money for Fiorentina and Commisso. If he wants to sell him to 80 million to City, he will sell him to City. Player will not be happy. Player will be happy joining another team, bigger side, bigger check, of course. But he would rather go to Juve. But he won't because the club won't allow it. So how much of the player's will is in this whole thing? And so far, we can confirm that the player's will actually matters quite a bit for Commisso because he hasn't resigned. He hasn't resigned his contract with Fiorentina. So he said, no, thank you. I will not renew my contract. I want to go after my contract expires or before. It doesn't matter. I want to go. So we'll see. We'll see how that pans out with Vlahovic, whether he really, really wants to go, because this is the only way he will go to Juve, because Juve cannot, as soon as they start the bidding war between the Premier League clubs and Juve are out. Juve cannot afford to bid 80 million straight up. No way. So they have to have another wild card on the hand, basically. Players will. The other bad thing in regards to that is, of course, him staying in Italy because of the racism thingy. He would still be bullied. There will still be chance about him being, whatever he was. Yeah. So this is it. This is the good and the bad with staying with it in Italy. But the good thing, of course, is that he will play for the club he wants to play for. If he wants to play for Juve, he will play with Federico Chiesa, and Commisso is Juventino. I still think he wants to sell Vlahovic to us as low. Says Ruffle, yeah, that's funny. I don't think he's a Juventino, to be honest, but I'd love it. I'd love him to be that. But yeah, this is those two things, He wants to play for Juve, and there are, Chiesa, other players, Bernardeschi might even have a say. Maybe some other players. Maybe we'll see Milinkovic-Savic at Juve next season. Maybe he also can provide some, come join me as well, because they are Serbian, both of them. So yeah, it's this is what we have to play with. With money, simple. Money, we cannot afford. We cannot afford to participate in a bidding war. Max, Chiesa deserves more than Pedri and Chair. We're talking about Ballon d'Or there. All right, yes. Hi, Adisa, by the way. There was some shouts about Isak, Adisa, earlier in the chat. So, yeah, there was someone who was a fan of Isak, and probably, well, you are as well. Great to see you, by the way, Adisa. Always great to see your name in the chat. Pleasure. Maybe Chiesa deserves it more, but there are two players. Those are two players out of 30. I can understand it all in all. Yeah. I wished him a lot. So what if he played that many? Iñaki Williams played every match. Should we nominate him? Yes. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, they were talking about the Ballon d'Or, but we are more here about talking about Vlahovic. And now the big question is, how good is he? What is he good at? What is he not so good at? And this is why I want to bring up, I will not show you it, I'm just going to read it up to you. So his stats in 2021-2022 season, basically this season, are 6 goals in 8 matches. Decent. One game was, of course, in the Coppa Italia against Cosenza. 13th of August, he scored 2 goals. 4 goals in Serie A so far, played in 7 matches. Almost every minute. The only exception is being the away to Genoa. He was substituted after 81st minute. Scored 2 against Atalanta, scored 1 against Torino, assisted 1 against Napoli last time, and scored 1 against Udinese. So, that is a good thing. That is a good thing, that he actually scores goals, even though this is his second season only. But his last season was absolutely crucial. Was absolutely insane for him. So if we look at his last season, this is where it gets interesting, because if we look at his start at the Serie A season last time, no, I get that, Max. I get the whole idea. I just don't want to get involved in that. If we look at the last season, he scored only 1 goal in the first 11 games for Fiorentina in Serie A. He didn't score. He has scored only once. He scored against Sampdoria in the match day 3, and then next goal was in match day 12. And he was in and out of the team at the start of the season, but then he started bagging in goals. 1 against Sassuolo, 1 against Verona. Then remember the 1 against us, where he sprinted from De Ligt and scored at the Allianz Stadium. The one we eventually lost 3-0. And then he continued balling, scoring, playing almost every single minute. And, of course, he scored against us once again in the round of 33. Like I said, Vlahovic is a big risk. Remember, Krasic, he doesn't score a lot for Serbia. In Juve, he won't be the main man. There is Chiesa, Dybala, etc. Says Adiza. But there is an important thing here if we look at his last season. Not a single injury. While playing more or less consistently for Viola last season. Also playing for his national side, of course, he started in Hungary, Turkey, Russia. So he scored and assisted against Russia. That's the only time he scored for Serbia last year. Yeah. So not injured. The whole season last season, 21 goals in 37 matches, which is decent. Only 2 assists, which is interesting. Only 1 yellow. And not a single injury, which is quite impressive. The only thing that he has on his injury history list is that he had COVID. That's it. That is quite interesting. But There is a big but. This is only for season, a proper season from him. Now we start with the second season, and we shall see how that happens. So far, as I said, 4 goals in 7 matches. Starts strong, played almost every minute, except from Genoa. There he played only 81 minutes instead of 90. So, yeah, I find that very, very interesting stats. Very, very interesting. But would he be a good fit for us? And that brings us to his strengths. First of all, what I noticed with him is that Vlahovic is a strong guy, is a very, very proper number 9. He is a left footer. Yet another one. We have Kulusevski, we have Dybala. Yet another one with the left foot. But it really doesn't matter, it seems. He still scores banging goal from left, right, center. It doesn't matter. He's good in the air, but not that great. He's a big, strong guy, but still he needs to improve on that, in my opinion. Doesn't score much with his head. He's quick. He's very, very quick. Technical-ish, but I feel that he is more of a direct number 9, rather than he's a good finisher, of course, but his technical ability, his dribbling, is not his greatest skill. As far as I've seen, I may be mistaken, but as far as I've seen during the games and during the whatever it is on YouTube, I haven't seen much skill from him. But he's a perfect player, in my opinion, to complement the Dybala project, whatever that is, to complement Chiesa, because he is a better version of Morata, in my opinion, in terms of holding on to the ball. If we're looking at physicality alone, of course, maybe Morata has more work rate, or maybe Vlahovic will get better at that. Morata is, of course, older than Vlahovic, so we'll see if that turns out to be true, that if Vlahovic arrives at Juve, he will be that prime striker all the way up front, with Dybala behind him, and I don't know, Chiesa on the right, and maybe Chiesa on the left, Cuadrado on the right, maybe, I don't know. But why Vlahovic is a big risk, Aditsa? I really want to know. Why is he a big risk? Which is an interesting comment. Max says, I'm not sure we even need Vlahovic, especially if it hurts our financials bad. Again, next year we'll have Dybala and more developed Kian. And best case, a good backup, Kayo. George, maybe Sule back. I guess Dybala will be even better when his contract is signed, and this is a mental thing too. And Paulo is a mentality player who lets himself influence by things off the pitch. That is also very, very true. We don't know what's going to happen with Dybala. Now he's, of course, injured. He still hasn't signed his contract. And if he is a moody player, then really we just need to spend all our resources to keep him being in the mood all the time. But I think Dybala will benefit from a player like Vlahovic, a clear, strong player who isn't easy to be messing around with, because he's a strong lad. He is a nasty finisher. His finishes are absolutely great, but that will also relieve Dybala of his duties in order to hold on to the ball, to have two range rush responsibility going forward, and also maybe he will get better offensively. I mean, talking about Dybala, if he has Vlahovic next to him. Remember when he played next to Mandzukic, he was excellent. He was one of the better players at Juve, one of the best players at Juve, actually, next to Mandzukic, next to Pipita. Dybala was good because he had someone next to him. Right now, Morata, I'm sorry, isn't just good enough. Just isn't good enough. Ramsey playing now. There we go. Bon, thank you. I started my stream with 15 minutes of rant towards Ramsey, Bon. Thank you. Welcome to the stream. And he's playing now. Of course he does. Pratt. Welsh Pratt. So, yeah. But I really, really am intrigued with that rumor that we might sign Vlahovic. And how will he complement the side? How good will he be? We'll never know. We'll never know until he is there. But all things considered, so far, it looks like he will be a good signing. But what happens with Morata? Do we resign him? No. What happens with Moise Kean? Will he be now more of a backup striker? Or even if he is a striker, I still think that Kean is a better left or right winger attacking rather than a prima punta striker. A clear-cut, a lone striker, Kean is not good enough. Yeah. What I don't like on the whole transfer, Vlahovic will lean back on the bench. Ken will become a backup striker, and if he flops, Juve loses money again. Yes, of course. This is the risk you have to take with such a big investment, and this is why they need to be very, very smart about that deal. Would they go into bidding war? Would they even consider Vlahovic? What happens if he actually goes to City, Atletico, and banging in goals like crazy? Who knows? And we don't know much about Vlahovic because he's been so exceptional for so short period of time. Is it just too soon for him to go to Juve already, to the big club? Because I'm from Balkan and our mentality, says Adica. Well, I mean, you can say about Mandzukic, is that an exception? Because also Mandzukic has that immense elite mentality, but that didn't come straight away. I think Mandzukic also spent several seasons before he got where he was at Juve. I think he was very good at Bayern Munich. I don't think he was that good for Atletico Madrid. I think he was great for Bayern Munich, actually. Mandzukic and Vlahovic could become that player, but the mentality thing, this is where he needs to think about where would he, if he wants to improve on the mentality aspect. We'll see where he wants to go. Would you, if you go to City, would you improve your mentality there? I'm not sure, especially if Pep decides to go sooner or later. So yeah, Mandzukic and Dzeko are exceptions, but like I said, Vlahovic is still not ready for our shirt. Fair point from Adica. Fair point. Maybe he isn't. Maybe he is. We just don't know until we see it. For me, it's very, very hard to tell whether he's ready or not. But the thing that just amazes me with Vlahovic is that he started so. In 2019, he was only worth like 1 million, and now he's worth 50 or 60. So it's just propelled his season last season. That's what made him great. That's what made him such attractive player now. But is it too much too soon? Is it a one season wonder? I think this season we'll find out more about Vlahovic and what he really is. But so far, what I've seen is exciting. It's interesting. His actions when he was racially abused by Atalanta fans. Well, he didn't do much, but I don't know, maybe he should have done something. Maybe this is a new territory for him. It's all been very, very much for a young guy. Remember, he's just 21. So it's too much for a young lad. So we'll see. We'll have to just keep our tabs on him, and we'll see what happens this season. On the other hand, Vlahovic isn't good enough. For Prem at Juve, he is used to the league. He develops good and will go to Prem in 2-3 years and will make good money. Well, we are becoming a farmers team, And when did we sell someone for profit, Max? When? He should do like Holland, stay at Fiorentina or some smaller club for 1 or 2 seasons more. He doesn't want that because he just denied contract extension. He doesn't want that. Yes, he will be probably a better choice for him. But now he sees the dollar signs. He sees future. He sees that he is good enough to play for a bigger club. He thinks so himself. This is why maybe his agent thinks so. Vlahovic scores goals, but if he is not strong enough mentally, says Boshinho, he will end up like Piontek. He was great at Genoa, but in first half of the year, and I see Milan then lost mentality. Now he struggles. Yes. This is why I think it's very, very prematurely to just go all out, be crazy for a player who played only one great season for a club. But as I said again, Juve have been tracking him since Partizan days. So we'll see. We'll see if they actually some truth to that, or or just lies everywhere. And but then again, let's say he goes to Juve. Allegri is also a very, very important piece of the puzzle. Allegri can make those young players tick like no one else. Maybe what Vlahovic needs is exactly Allegri, and also the attraction of Allegri type of a coach would probably be in favor to Juve. He'd rather go to a coach who knows who can develop him mentally, professionally, as a player at a big, big club. You see, those things matter. The players around the club, the manager who coaches that club, everything. Sad to say, but we managed our club bad in the last 3 to 5 years. Financially, says Max, we won't be a farmers team forever, but we have to make money up and stabilize the club. Sad reality, in my opinion. Yes, it is. This is the sad reality, and this is why we need to make up the ground and get up the Super League. Cheers. Or win the Champions League and get that money. So yeah, Vlahovic, weaknesses. As far as I've seen, well, he is a clear-cut striker. He is a striker. He's a number 9. The mentality is a big question, of course. I'm not sure about his defensive work rate. I haven't seen much of that. His strength, of course, is that he is rarely injured so far. The weakness is, in my opinion, is that the price tag maybe is just too heavy. But yeah, I don't know. If you guys know more about Vlahovic's weaknesses, I'd rather know on the pitch. That is work rate, defensively, passing ability, whatever that is. Super League supporter, Max. I'm a supporter of a change in the system. I'm a supporter of the fact that no matter what happens, Premier League will always be way ahead of us financially, and there needs to be a stop to whatever it is happening in the world of football, in the world where external investors come in and just buy a club with money, with dirty money, with clean money. I don't care, but there needs to be a stop to that. There needs to be a healthy organization, which is world football, and not only focusing on the Premier League, because they're making that product so good that everyone wants to go there, and everybody else, every other federation, I'm talking about the clubs, I'm talking about federations, will be in the mud. So yeah, this is not a good sign. This is not a good sign for UEFA, because there will be all attractions going to Premier League, and once again, people will look back and see that Serie A is crap, La Liga is crap, so much depth, and football eventually will lose in those countries, and will be starting to focusing on their own youngsters and providing players to the Premier League. But let's see what happens with let's see what Agnelli and the gang cooks up for the next time of the Super League version. So yeah, Rovella, yes, Imers Remanzo, welcome to the stream once again. Welcome, always a pleasure. I hope you like this channel, by the way. Especially like and subscribe if you haven't. Rovella, yes. I haven't seen much of Rovella, so I don't know. I see constant, positives. I see a lot of positives about Rovella, but yeah, I don't know much. So I have no opinion about Rovella. If he's good enough, he's good enough. But again, playing for Genoa is something else than playing for Juve. Just as playing for Fiorentina is something else than playing for Juve. So yeah. Boshini, you're funny. I'm not gonna answer that. It's pleasure amazing. How I forgot. How do you forget me every time? How should I forget you? I sleep. When I sleep, I think about you, Aymar. Don't you worry. Sorry, mate. Vlahovic will go to Barcelona if we can't sign Holland. Football Films is it's a Barcelona fan. I see. Welcome, Football Films. You cannot sign my left pinky. You can't afford my left pinky. You can't afford my 4-year-old. You know that? Because Barcelona have no money. So yeah, you can't afford Vlahovic. You can't afford Holland at this time. So calma. Calma. Honestly, it's more of a case of alternative than being nobody. Yeah. Yes. So, Vlahovic, will he go to Juve or will he not? If we look forward now, 1 year into the future, well, will Vlahovic play? I have a bad feeling that he will go to Premier League. Just because of the money. That's funny from Irish. Welcome, by the way, Irish. Just because of the money and the fact that the racial abuse will be too much for him. This is what I predict, but it could be anything. He might actually end up at Juve, and this will be just because Morata will not be re-signing for us permanently. So we have to go and assess the situation this January, maybe even before, maybe even already now. Is it worth to go for Morata if we know we can get Vlahovic, and if it is a risk worth taking? Because let's look at Morata just a little bit. Let's look at Morata. I'm just gonna Google him because I don't remember crap. He is 28 years old. We get him for 40 million next season. We already paid like 10 every season for him now. So we get him for 35 or 40, whatever. He is 28. This is the peak for him. This is the peak for Morata. Which means this is as much as people will pay for Morata these days. So 40 million for Morata today, that's it. If next year he will not be worth 40 or 35, he will be worth 30, maybe even 25. Because I see this him being at his peak, absolute peak. And that's it. Of course, it all matters about the player's will, which is annoying. This is very, very annoying as well, because the players will also dictate so much. Remember with Khedira, remember with Douglas Costa, or remember with who was it? It was one more guy. Yeah, well, let's go with Khedira. Khedira is a perfect example of players' will. Marotta was talking about it all the time. The players will decide the future of the player. So if he wants to leave, he can leave. Okay, fine. That's okay. But at some point, you have to stay your ground. Bayern as well. Yes, I did say yes. Bayern as well can be in the market for Vlahovic for sure. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen about that. But still, if Morata wants to stay, that will complicate a lot of things. So if Morata stays, it will be very hard for us to get Vlahovic because we cannot afford both of them. It's simple. We can't afford both of them unless we win the Champions League, unless we suddenly get 100 million bid for Paulo Dybala. And if we want to buy a midfielder as well, imagine that. Pogba. I'm just saying, Pogba, which is, by the way, BS. He will not come back. But let's say he does come back. We can forget about Vlahovic in the same transfer window. We have no money to facilitate that transfer. Once again, unless we get to win the Champions League, we get a lot of money from somewhere, unless Comiso will be drunk that evening and signs the contract where we say, we're not gonna offer you crap. Just because, we have no money. But, in 5 years' time, you get like a 50 million. And then he signs and that's it. But that's not going to happen with Comiso and Vlahovic this time, because Vlahovic pissed him off by not re-signing his contract. Ciao, Davide. Welcome to the stream, my friend. I just don't understand why we need Chouameni. I don't know who this guy is. I don't watch enough football, obviously, to know of these names. If we have Rovella, can they play together? For me, they are similar. Yeah, perhaps they are. Perhaps they are. But Rovella, for me, it's the only thing I can say about Rovella is that he plays for Genoa, not for Juve. And we tend to, screw up those youngsters, send them out on loan, maybe sit them on the bench. Rugani, prime example. So yeah, we'd rather just let him play for Genoa for this season, come back to Juve next season, and then we'll see what's cooking. Maybe we don't even need Pogba. Maybe we don't even need the replacement for Aaron Ramsey or whatever. Maybe we just need to ship him off, get Rovella and Locatelli in the middle for next season, maybe with Bentancur. Maybe Rabiot will leave. We don't know. Bentancur, Rovella, Locatelli, if Rovella is good enough. And Arthur, fine. If they're good enough, but I don't know. It's very, very early days. So this season will determine a lot of things. Vlahovic, Rovella, Ramsey, when will he leave? Not if, because he will leave sooner rather than later. Chouameni is the guy Albanese and Agresti says we will go all in for. Okay. But yeah, okay. I'll need to check him out. Where he's played for Monaco. Thank you, Max. I need to check him out. I don't watch French football because we don't have anything in Norway. We don't even have Norwegian football in Norway, but I can watch for free. Everything costs a ton of money. Maybe I should donate blood. Is it worth it, donating blood? Maybe I should donate blood for a subscription for, I don't know, for something. This is where the world has come to, huh? I need to donate my own blood to get to watch football. Maybe I'll donate blood while watching football. A gallon per subscription. That would be lovely. Maybe a kidney. A kidney for Vlahovic. Nah. Would you like to move away from Norway? No, never. Never, Boshinho. I love it here. But thank you for suggesting whatever. Yeah. So how much does watching Juve cost you per month? I don't watch Juve through the subscription. I stream this crap. This is why I'm way behind you guys, and this is why my stream keeps dying, because I watch it on the stream. Last year and the year before, I could watch this properly, but not this season because they didn't renew the rights for Italian football in Norway. So thank you very much. Don't you have DAZN? No, we don't. Oh, we do, but they only show martial arts and nothing else. I was just thinking I'd have to. Imagine living with you, Boshinho. Oh, they will be fighting each other the first evening. That I guarantee you that. We will have to put all our kidneys together to afford Vlahovic left stove. Well, my kidneys are very expensive, my friend. They're made of gold, which is not a good thing, I guess. Tonali again, 2 assists for Italy. Man, I really were sorry we missed him. That's fine. We have Locatelli, we have Chiesa. I mean, we can sign every player. We can sign every player, and the players we get should be the players that we need in the certain positions. So we can buy everyone. I mean, people want Pogba, Tonali. People want Holland, Vlahovic. I mean, everybody. It's not. It's like watching Newcastle United go shopping. Now finally they don't know what to do. They just buy everything. Never been this kind of situation. They've been in shambles for centuries, and now finally they get money to spend on players. Yeah, let's see how that turns out to be. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. For me personally, I like what I see from Vlahovic so far. We'll see. And if he ends up going to Premier League and we will sign Morata on a permanent basis, we'll still be having a problem with the strikers, because I do not believe in Moise Kean as a striker. I do not believe in Morata as a prime striker. I think he needs support. I think he needs somebody to play off to, just as Dybala. So yeah, this is why I think Vlahovic type of player, not necessary Vlahovic, but Vlahovic type of player would be just a perfect choice for us. There were also talks about Mauro Icardi. I saw some rumors about him this week. Mauro Icardi will be a discount version. Probably that would work just as well. I'm not sure about the financial situation there. Probably he will be going on a fairly acceptable deal, but the wages are also a big question. And off the pitch nonsense, we don't want to talk about that because that is not an issue. It was an issue before, but I think he just settled out. He has been away for 5 years or so from Italy. I haven't heard a single thing about Wanda being crazy. So let's relax about that one and focus on Icardi purely as a footballer. And Allegri can kick him really hard up his ass if there are trouble. Don't you worry about that. So, yeah. So, once again, there is a chat there in the chat. There is a quiz, or a poll, rather. Dusan Vlahovic, yes or no? Smash on that one with your opinion, and let me have a look. Let me have a look on the current status of that poll and how are we doing before we end this stream, guys. If you're still watching, smash a like on this one, please, and subscribe. How is Cavani age-wise compared to Icardi? Cavani is older, Steve. Let's see. So 88% going for yes for Vlahovic, rather dominating. And no, only 12%. So the majority of my viewers, 88 yes, wow, and only 12% no. Yeah, fantastic. That is fantastic. People want these guys. So Edison Cavani is 34 years old. Well, Icardi is 28. So Icardi is as old. I think actually Icardi is born on February of 19th. Not so in distant future from. Yeah, so he's a bit older than Morata, but they are same age. Morata and Icardi are the same age. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I say, if the player wants, if we can afford whatever Commisso accepts, we go for Vlahovic, and let's see if that ends up to be crap or if it ends up to be a success. But so far, if there is tomorrow, a decision day for Vlahovic is tomorrow, I'd say go. We'll take a risk because we need that player. We need that type of player. Then if there is a bidding war, we cannot afford the guy. And then it will be all down to himself. If Vlahovic wants to go to Juve, or if he wants to go to Premier League or wherever. If he wants to go to Juve, we still have a chance. If not, he'll go to Premier League or somewhere else. And after those racial abuse that he received from Atalanta fans, the chances are worsening. The chances are slim. They are there for sure, but they are slim because it's never a good thing to receive those racial abuse, especially during the live television. So yes, it is what it is, my friends. We'll see what happens. So far, of course, there's international break, so no football tomorrow, as I said. Tomorrow there will be, however, behind closed doors, you will play against Alessandria, I believe. No stream of that game, I believe, as well. But Juve women will play against Napoli women during the day on the Juventus TV. Of course, I will be watching that one. And there will be huge rotations. Barbara Bonansea and Cristiana Girelli isn't in the squad because of they are struggling with injuries, or they're just being rested, not sure. The rumors are that they are struggling. And of course, the Juventus women will be playing against Chelsea women on Wednesday. Yeah. Should I do a watch along for that one? Maybe I will. Freaking yeah. Let's do a watch along for that game. For the Juve women against Chelsea women. Who says no? I say yes. Chelsea women at the Juventus Stadium, by the way, at the Allianz Stadium. So Juventus women will be playing the Champions League football at the J Stadium on Wednesday night against Chelsea. It will be crazy. Poland San Marino, yes. You should start your own channel, Boshinho. I'll maybe follow that one. Maybe I'll see a watch along with Poland and San Marino if you're doing the watch along. But we'll see. I think I'll be doing the watch along for the Chelsea game, of course, and we'll be back with Juventus against Roma. It's Allegri against Jose Mourinho, which will be lovely. And it will be even more lovely. It will taste so good if we end up winning that game against Mourinho, and we'll see Mourinho fuming and whatever. That will be quite funny. We'll see what happens. Fino alla fine, my friends. Thank you so very, very much for joining this one. Had a great time with you guys. And again, your great takes regarding Vlahovic, of course, Adiza, with some knowledge about him because, well, Balkan and all that stuff. And also this Chouameni guy. I never heard of him. Nice, interesting insight. And, of course, Boshinho as well. Thank you so much for joining, Max. Great comments from Max as well. Steve, I wish you luck and wish you exciting and great days with your girl. Will be fun, I hope. Send pictures. Decent pictures, please. Irish Macbeth was also in the chat. Aymar, pleasure. Bon. Lovely to see Bon in the chat as well. And many, 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 many others. Death Clutch was there also. And Mohammed earlier on. Guys, 2 seconds why I love you. You can't explain what you love, can you? Passion. I don't know why. I just grew up with that. The shirts. By the way, Boshinho. No, I have the answer for you, Boshinho. Roberto Baggio. And on that bombshell, have a good night. Enjoy your weekend. And we'll see you next time. Probably do the watch along Wednesday for Juve women against Chelsea women. Yes. Maybe we'll do it live on Monday night. Until then, fino alla fine.